to Abby Gooch.
Awesome. All right. Yay. Well, thank you all so much for being here. It is really an honor to be able to address you in this way. And my job is really easy. I just get to reflect the light of you. Okay? So intuition is about seeing the highest in yourself, in anybody that you work with, in your friends, and in your life. Okay? So our intuition can be felt usually as a gut feeling. Most people relate to it as that deep inner knowing, right? Does anybody not feel their inner knowing? All right, cool. You guys are pretty advanced. I was like feeling you out. I was like, you guys, we can go pretty high today. You already are pretty intuitive, right? So we want to take that and we want to use it, right, in your practice and in your business. So the first way to do that is to become aware, okay? So we know it, but do we always listen, okay? So think about a time in your life where you felt your intuition, you could feel your guidance, but you didn't listen. What happened? What was the result? Were they positive or negative? Negative, usually probably not as good, right? Now think of a time where you listened and you followed your intuitive guidance. What happened? Positive or negative? Not if positive, shake if negative. All right, not. Awesome. So it works, right? Anytime that you've listened and you trusted and you acted, you created a positive result. Okay? So why do you think we don't listen? If it creates a positive result, why wouldn't we listen every single time? Do you guys have any ideas why you think we wouldn't listen? Because not everybody listens.
I get scared and I don't trust.
You get scared and you don't trust. Absolutely. Thank you for being honest. That's exactly what happens, is fear comes in, okay? So I'll be right with you. So fear, when you have the energy of fear, it actually creates a disconnection in your energy field, okay? Think about a baby. A baby's just love, right? It just comes onto the planet. It's just completely full of love. That's who you are at your essence. Okay, and you have a whole journey of your life where you get to experience this love, but you have a lot of challenges. And those challenges ignite fear, right? And the fear is usually a conditioned response, okay? So a lot of my work as an intuitive is deconditioning the fear response, which is just programming that we've been taught, okay? Getting us back to the essence of us, our intuition, which guides us to the love within, okay? So it's really coming home back to that love that you already know, okay? So when we have a fear, the idea is to address it, to tune into our own knowing. You guys said you all feel your intuition. To tune in and see, is it even true? Is this fearful thought even a true statement? I can't do it. I'm not worth it. I'm scared to start my own practice. Are people going to listen to me? Right? So when you hear those thoughts, tune into your knowing. Is it true? Do you think those statements that I just said are true? Probably not. I'm talking to you, so clearly I can probably do it, right? You can probably do whatever you're afraid of. But do we take the step forward, right? Do we take the action, okay? So I want you guys to think about something that you're working on. Let's apply this to your life. What is something that you really are passionate about, that if you had the courage to do it, that you would? Dream really big. Really big. In fact, I want you to imagine on the screen that you put your dream right on here. Just project it, visualize it on this screen. Whatever it is that you want. Notice who's around you. Where are you? You may even want to close your eyes so you can come even more into the feeling. What do you hear? How do you feel about yourself? If you start to project and see what it is that you want. Notice any other finer details. The colors. What does it look like? Take a moment to really feel it for yourself. The more you feel it, the closer it will come to you. Okay, so as you feel this, I want everybody to stand up if you're able. And you're going to start to bring this picture of what you want closer to you. Okay? So, you can either imagine it coming closer, or you can step forward into it. Now, we don't want you all rushing onto the screen, so bring it a little bit closer, right? And then you're going to take your physical body and you're going to step into your dream. As you do, you're going to feel yourself already in it. I know it sounds a little crazy, but it'll work. All right? So take a step forward into what it is that you're wanting, and imagine yourself in it. You're stepping into success. Beautiful. Take a deep breath and completely feel yourself in this future moment. So it's here, now, happening. Again, notice, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What's going on inside? Take a deep breath. And then go ahead and take a step back. And you're going to imagine from this future moment to the present moment of today, you're going to go back and look back and ask, what are the 3 things I allowed to have happen? So go ahead and take a step back into your chair. As you do, you're coming back to this moment. Write down, what are 3 things that I allowed to have happen that created this? So your unconscious mind, your intuition will tell you these steps. So just on the back of your notebook, whatever you want. I'll always do the outline, but we'll usually go above it. So just go ahead and go on the back piece of the paper of the outline that I gave you. And write, what are the 3 steps that I did or I allowed to have happen that created this? Okay, so it will come to you. Just let your pen write you, okay? Now you got to take action on these, but write first, okay? So what did I allow to have happen, or what did I do that let this manifest? Let it be easy. You'll feel it. Give you guys a couple more minutes. See you writing. You need a pen? Anybody have an extra pen? Sweet. We're all teamwork here. Oh, I don't know if I have any more. Sorry, girl. Oh, you have a pen. You know what? Honestly, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. I'll print you one, but we'll probably more. I guess we do have abundance. There you go. All right. So does anybody want to share what one of their action steps are? So when you share, I will tell you, you don't have to, but it does make it a little more real. You kind of hear yourself say it. So does anybody want to? Go ahead.
Trust.
Trust. Awesome. So I would take it one step deeper. What does trust mean to you? So really embody the energy of trust, right? So think of an image that represents trust, maybe a sound, and feel where you feel trust in your body. Can you kind of tune in? Yeah. Good. Maybe think of a color. So each time you see that color, you'll activate that trust. And then as you move with that, it'll just become easier. It'll be that. Okay? Beautiful. Yeah. All right, anyone else? Go ahead.
Stay open to all possibilities.
Yeah. Arms wide open, right? Yeah, I feel that. Awesome. Love it. Hey, Ann.
Let go of old fear and limiting beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely. And just drop into your knowing. Like I said when we first started, it's like it's not even true. Right? So trust yourself, what you know. Yeah, go ahead.
Hire 3 staff.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Hire 3 staff.
Hire 3 staff. Awesome. Yeah, delegate. Yeah. Free up your energy, huh? Yeah. Very cool. Yeah.
This Wedgework concrete is what the wrap looks like on my new mobile studio that I'm designing.
Okay.
I have an RV I'm turning into a mobile studio.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Nice. Beautiful. Very cool. Very cool. Anyone else? This side all talk. What's going on over here? Did I cast a spell on one side of the room? Anyone? Go ahead.
Stop arguing against myself.
Yeah, I love that. Right? And why do you think we do that? Fear, probably, right? We feel it. We're like, oh, no, wait.
Yep. Start, stop.
Yeah, yep. A great one that the other side of the room offered is trust, right? Just replace it with something positive. So trust or whatever works for you. Very cool. Yay. Anybody in the back? Sure, go ahead.
One of these big ones is a big one for me because it triggers some resistance and fears, which is unsupported by others.
Yeah.
I'm very successful, but the way I create my success is not sustainable because I exhaust myself. Because I do it mainly alone. Even though I had already a big team, I was still struggling with a whole concept of delegation because I had trust issues and just tough was. So this whole thing of being supported by others and raising my level of my ability to receive, like gifts. Gifts can, because I don't trust that they are free.
Right.
It's just like, okay, you give me that, what is behind that? Right?
Yeah.
It's like, there's a part of me which has so many years that I prefer to do it all alone. It's just that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for saying that. It's about creating safe and trusted relationships, which is a great segue to where we're going to go, which is we're actually going to move into a place where you can connect with your colleagues here in this room from your heart center and from a place of seeing them at a deeper level than just the surface, right? Because when we start to see each other from this place, we see truth, okay? Because there's so much we can just see on the physical, right? Like, okay, I'm wearing a striped skirt and, red shirt. Cool, that's Abby. But you feel me. You feel your clients. So what if you were felt and what if you were seen? Can you imagine that? If you had your life, if people really saw all of who you were and it was safe to be vulnerable and ask for help? Okay. So the next exercise we're going to do is moving into this place of your heart center, okay? So when you are really tuning into your intuition, I'm just going to give you the 3 steps. It's moving from your head to your heart, dropping your awareness to your heart, to your gut, a couple inches below your belly button, okay? So you'll find when you're in fear, you spin out, your mind just goes, you got to reel it back in, bring it into your heart. When you feel the love, it calms, okay? You connect to what's really going on. Then from your heart, you drop into your gut, and this is like your soul embodied. It's your truth, okay? This keeps your body safe. It's you, okay? Your soul embodied, your gut feeling, okay? Instinctual knowing too, right? We also have that animalistic side where it just keeps us safe, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to take to the second step from our head. That's why I told you I do the outlines. It's very heady. Everybody wants it, so I do it, but we never use it if you come to any of my talks. Now we're going to go into the heart, okay? So we're going to break. You know what? I'd really love to do a circle. Would it be possible to do in like here or there membership? Is that okay, or should we stand? Can we do a little circle? No? Stand? Okay. We're going to flip. So we're going to go in partners. So you're going to flip to the person behind you, and you're not going to say anything. You're going to energetically send a message, right? We're always sending messages without saying anything, right? And you're going to say in your mind, I see you. And all I want you to do is look into that person's eyes. That's it. Just look into their eyes, and you're going to say, I see you. To yourself. Yeah. Okay, so hold on, everybody just stop. We're going to do this together. So I know some of you guys are super excited. So just hold on 1 second. We're going to do it together so I can time it so you don't stay here for hours, because some of you will probably want to. All right, so make sure, does everybody have somebody to look into? Okay. All right, so 3, 2, okay, so go ahead and look into your partner's eyes and just hold the gaze. So you're not going to say anything. In your mind, you're going to say, I see you. In your mind. Breathe, everyone. Keep breathing and receiving the person. Beautiful. And start to bring your energy back to you. Starting to, good. Beautiful. Okay. Now you're going to switch to the person that you just received. You're actually going to switch partners. So it's going to be if you received Michelle, then Michelle would receive you.
Oh, I didn't know who was doing what. We were all doing it at the same time.
You guys are just advanced, so it's great. You're going to rotate. Okay, so now you're going to rotate
Actually,
one. So whoever you did.
Really good idea though, because as I was doing it, I was like so busy sending, I wasn't sure.
You weren't receiving?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's rotate one, and I'm going to be clear on the next time. So rotate one, so wherever you are, you want to move to another person. So, sorry, I know you love your new friend, but you can connect more later. You can connect more later. Yeah, feel free to get up and move if you need to, yeah. I'll explain. I'll have you receive. So person A and person B. Okay, so, all right, recap on the D. All right. Okay, y'all. Come on, don't make me break out my Texas accent that I've never even lived in. Okay.
Person now.
Okay, so choose person A and person B. So of your partner, just say, I want to be A.
Are we changing that?
Okay.
So we haven't really changed it.
Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. At this point, just find a partner.
Okay.
Are you okay? I feel ya. I really really wish I had a circle, but I didn't say it early enough, so that's my bad. Okay, so, all right, so A's, raise your hand. Okay, so you're going to receive your partner. Okay? All right? Okay, so ready, set, hey, we want to be quiet. Hey, shh, shh. I love you, but we have to do it energetically. Okay. All right, go ahead and receive your partner. Notice how you feel as you receive this person. Okay, and go ahead and start to wrap that up. Bring your energy back to you. Good. Okay, and now you're going to switch. So the person who just switch. Let's keep it simple. Switch. Yay. Okay, and go ahead, begin. The last few minutes, a few seconds rather, start to bring your energy back. And then just thank your partner. And then return to your seats. So what was your experience? I know you wanted to probably hold it a little longer, but we're just moving along. But could you feel a little bit of it opening? A little bit? Good. Awesome. Cool. I feel you. What was your guys' experience over here? How was your experience of that? Yeah, go ahead.
I was seeing into her past lives.
Wow. That's awesome.
And they came like 10 of them, and they came like pictures in a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
You know, the happiness, the sadness, all the accomplishments, and the struggles.
Wow. You need to come take some intuitive classes where you develop those gifts. Yeah, that's awesome. So you are soul gazing. You're straight into that person. So that's beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful. Awesome. Anybody else? Go ahead.
I felt like I could see the things she wanted to be, and I could see her being.
Okay, very cool. Can I repeat that? So I could see the things that, can you repeat that a little louder?
Wanted to be, and I could see her being, and I don't know her.
Awesome. Do you think that's what coaches do? Right? That's what we do. We see what somebody can be, and we see them doing them. We believe in them so much that they eventually accomplish them, right? So that's beautiful that you could see that, and then continue that partnership where you can kind of hold her to that, right? Just go, here you go, here I am. Right? Awesome. Thank you. Sure.
Well, I know Bonnie, and I've never really looked at Bonnie deeply before.
Yeah.
And what I saw was a real light and spirit in her eyes of enthusiasm that I never saw before. So that was really nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. So remember how Miguel said, I was going to tell you how to find your gifts and people's gifts. This is how you do it. You see into their heart. You see what you didn't see before. Oh my gosh, that lightness and that enthusiasm, it's always there. But seeing the truth of you brought it out, right? Seeing the best in, your partner. Seeing past lives. Goodness gracious. Past to future all the way. So this is how you see your clients' gifts. You see the truth of them. And when you look straight into their eyes without them, talking, listen at first, right? And then it's like, okay, now I'm going to see you. Right? And I don't usually sit somebody down and say, hey, I'm going to see you, right? But the whole time, like Marla and I have this connection. We just know each other. We see that at the soul level. So we connect at that place. So you have every relationship at this place, right? So then if somebody really irritates you or you get upset, you go back to that place of the truth. I know the truth of them, and I know the truth of me, and I know we're all one. It's okay. Right? So that's where you start to live your life from. Go ahead.
It's also one thing that every coach, hopefully every person needs to learn to do, and that's just to be with.
Yeah.
be with
Yeah.
the other.
Yeah.
And when we can be with the other, I don't care if it's corporate or private practice, whatever it might be, we're creating amazing value to be with and not be holding people in judgment.
Yes, love that.
Open space.
Love it. Yes. Music, love it. Non-judgment. It's such a beautiful piece. Such a beautiful piece. Yes.
I mean, I was just thinking about the reflection piece of that, as to what we see in others and not.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Well, you do that work, right? The mirror work. And she didn't introduce myself. I just know her. But you do that mirror work, right? Don't you do that? So it's kind of like you're going to see what you're trained in, you're going to see, right? You're going to use your skills.
Right, and it also works the other way. When we see others that we don't like about ourselves.
Yeah.
That's the judgment, that's the criticism, that's all that stuff. Comes out. We don't want to see that.
Right, right. And I think one of the most beautiful words and just the vibration I've been in for the past few months is the word compassion, to really have that for ourselves, because when you do see all aspects of you, me, us, right, you have compassion because you're like, oh, I am like him in that way. Or like her in that way. Oh, that is me, and it's okay. I can have compassion and still love. I just really, to kind of play with that energy in your practice too, I think will take you even deeper into this heart vibration, because when you don't have judgment for yourself, you're not going to have as much for your clients. And when you don't have it for your clients, you're not going to have as much for yourself. Right? So it's putting that full circle, non-judgment. And thank you.
I've just been noticing with clients recently that when they step into that compassion, things can change. And without that, they're riling against what is and upset with the way it's been. But I was doing a particular client, she just said, well, gosh, maybe I can ease up on me. And from that place, she's taking on.
Yeah.
And before that, not so much.
Yeah, yeah. And it's an essence quality. Like, that's one of your essence qualities. Like, I can feel you when you talk. Can you kind of feel, Billy, like her energy when she talks? Like, she's in it. She's living it. So when you start to embody these traits, you become it, and then people gravitate towards you. And you don't really say anything, right? So I have an intuitive school where I teach people how to grow their businesses, and we don't go out and sell. We just be it, and then people come, the right people. And it's really fascinating because you get at such a higher level than trying to win the game, right? You're like, you already won. Just be you. Let go and be you, right? So that's really what I want to empower each of you to do, is to be the fullest expression of you. So the exercise we did when I started was, that's where you can go, and you will, when you bring in these, attributes of compassion, right? And you follow your intuition. What other tools in your toolbox do you think you could use that would help you manifest what it is that you put up on that screen? So I'm talking like emotional resources. So compassion, we got that one down, right? Intuition. What else? What else is going to help you accomplish that? It's within your control, not if this person does this. Okay, so confidence. Beautiful. So here's the thing. We have the resources we need within us. So have you ever before? So all you do is you remember a time, and then you do something called anchoring, which is to just create a link. Like, it could be a color or a picture in your mind or a symbol that reminds you of that time, and keep activating it. Do it like right before your talks, and then you just keep growing it, okay? So for any of you guys, if you want confidence or whatever it is, think of a time where you've had it, and then create a link to it. Your unconscious mind is 80% of your being. Basically, first you learn how to drive a car, right? You put your hands on the steering wheel, shift the gears if you have a, manual like I do. Then you just do it automatically, okay? That's how we live our lives until we stop and think about it, okay? So right now you're just kind of reprogramming yourself, so to speak, with positive resources to get you where you want to go, okay? So what do you think you would need? What would you like to have to boost you to your next level? A leaf. Yeah. Awesome. So I'm just going to use this, and you may have a really strong belief already, but sometimes people don't think they have access to something. They're like, I've never believed in myself. I've never experienced unconditional love, right? So if that's the case, you want to create it, and you just say basically you access the senses already. So you say, if belief was an image, what would it be? And you have them think of what that would be. So it's activating. Okay, so if belief was an image, go ahead, everybody do it. If belief was an image, what would it be? Think of the first image that pops into your mind, belief. If it was an image, what would it be? Okay? If it was a sound, what would belief sound like? Good. If belief was a feeling, what would it feel like? Where would you feel it in your body? You even put your hand there. Okay. And if belief was a smell, what would it smell like? Maybe if it was a taste, what would it taste like? And as soon as you're feeling that pretty strong, go ahead and place your hand back on your body where you feel it the strongest and just hold for about 3 seconds. Just really anchoring in that belief. And then go ahead and release it. Okay? So after you've released it, just kind of shake it off a little bit. And I want you to test this anchor. So go ahead and place your hand on the area of your body, the same place, and notice how you feel. You should, and if you don't, make sure you get the exact same place. Feel more belief. Because what we did is we just linked your body, your brain and your body together, saying, hey, every time I do this, we believe. Okay? You all feel it? I don't know where y'all comes in. So funny. Good. So go ahead and release it. So here's the deal. Apply it. So you believe in yourself. If you're going to a job interview, if you're doing a speech, if you're working with a client, just be like, I'm just going to put my hand in my belly for a second, then walk in, right? It will activate those feelings for you. Our feelings are emotional energy. It's vibration, it's energy it creates. So the more you walk in like that, the better you're going to get reflection good back. Right? Any questions on that? It's called NLP. Marla knows more about it too. You can talk to her. Okay? All right. So the third and final piece, I want to move us into our knowing. I really want you guys to have an experience of your knowing so you can trust it. Okay? So what do you guys feel your knowing as? When I say knowing, what does that make you guys think about? When I say activate your knowing, what does that make you guys think about?
Your internal wisdom.
Your internal wisdom. Good. I like it. Anybody else? Go ahead.
It's an internal alignment of all my parts and vessels, which results in clarity.
Nice.
Just
Nice. I really love that. An internal alignment. Is that what you said? I love that. Yeah. Yeah. And that just brings up a really quick piece about congruence, right? So when we're fully aligned, we're congruent. And then we can, again, get that energy back. Otherwise, if we're part here, then we might get that back. So just to take that time to go in. That's beautiful. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I think about knowing, it's sort of an internal feeling that pulls me towards what it is that I'm,
Yeah.
moving towards.
Yes. 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 And that's what your intuition does. So it is the higher part of you that knows. And so when we listen to our gut feeling, it will pull us. Michael Beckwith, he's a spiritual leader up in LA. He says something about, your vision will, like pain will push you until vision pulls you. So either you're going to get a swift kick in the rear to go on your path, or your intuition, you're going to listen so much that it pulls you forward. Okay? I know for me, like I get strong messages, like I feel it in my body, like it'll be, oh, I have a stomach ache, oh, I'm breaking out, what's going on? And it's like, okay, let me get that internal alignment, what's going on here? And then it keeps pulling, okay? So listen to your body. It's it's just such a gift that we have it because it's constantly giving us feedback, okay? And I think it's really easy for us to just keep plowing through too, right? Because we think we need to go get more done. But if you really get that your beingness is it, you don't have to work so hard. You really don't. You really don't. I promise you. It will come to you because you're it. You're not reaching out, going. But when you're it, you're just being, and then it just flows, right? And then people come. It's very easy. Okay, so you can let go of that old belief that I have to work really, really hard. I know a lot of people might get mad at me for saying that, but you don't have to work that hard. You have to be clear and focused and committed. But just be. Okay. Yeah.
How do you tell the difference between pushing and then just allowing? Because even when, so when you connect to higher self, or that's what I call it.
Yeah.
So when connected, then you got to take action in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
So how do you tell the difference between action that's more of a pushing versus
allowing? Perfect. So the question is, how do you tell the difference between pushing and allowing? So pushing is you're literally going up against something. Allowing is if you were to let go, you would literally just like flow. Like you're not pushing, you're just letting go, and you're naturally moving, like it's moving you. It's moving you. Instead of pushing against, it's moving you. That will be really fun for you in your life. Watch it. Just let go of the pushing against and let it move you. because you have so much power. It's coming up, like I see your energy, it's coming up. Like from our core, from your center, it's spiraling up. There's so much energy, and so your mind can't comprehend it. And so when you start trusting your gut and you let that energy move you, you're going to create something far beyond what you thought. Talk to me in like 10 years. You're going to be like, Abby, remember when? Good.
And I think the word is friction. You allow, there's no friction. When you push, you're always pushing against friction.
Yeah.
And the thing with the knowing is, that's where you mess up with the time. This is future. Already exists now. Knowing is the set of steps that bring you from now to that future that is already exists.
I love it. You guys are so smart. See, that's why I'm like, I'm just the light reflecting what you know. That's beautiful. That's totally beautiful. The future's already there. Your knowing is just the steps to get there. So if you listen, you're on path. It's really simple. It's really simple.
Friction, you're pushing.
Yes. Yes. I love it. And trust. So trust what you know. Yeah.
And is this something I want to do? How do I feel about this potential action? So,
yes.
If I feel good about doing it, it may be ruin. The chances are more than 50.
Yeah. And so I've experienced this thing called will, because like I definitely have a will, like I want it, and then I've had to really open wide and get that it's not really about me, and it's actually about the bigger picture, and my intuition will actually guide me to the bigger picture. So sometimes you're like, I don't want to do that, or whatever, right? It's kind of like a little kid being like, Mom, I don't want to eat my peas, or whatever, right? But your intuition, it's actually programmed for the highest and best of all. So if I can step out of myself for a minute and feel my knowing and trust it, it will be for the benefit of all. So, I mean, it's like last Sunday, it's like I really didn't want to go to church, but I was like, I know they, need me to support them, so I went. And I helped a lot of people. It's like, okay, I was supposed to go. But if I was like, no, I don't want to, I just want to lay in bed, I didn't shine my light that day. And that's not why I'm here. So just play with that. I don't have the answer for you. That's just my experience.
I don't have a question.
There you go. Let's converse. Awesome. Go ahead, Bev.
So do you have a suggestion or maybe a quick exercise to do when my stomach gets nervous when I have to do something that is it's not necessarily incongruent. Sometimes it's just something that I can't control. Like when I have to travel.
Yeah.
I want to travel, but I get nervous and it makes me have an upset stomach. Do you have any suggestions for how to not get that upset stomach?
Yeah, so it's feedback. So your body is feedback, so it's telling you something. So I would stop and ask, what is this part of my being telling me? Why is my stomach upset? Why do I not feel comfortable? It's just feedback, okay? The other thing I get really strong for you is speaking your truth. What is true for you, and are you speaking it? And that will, maybe make you take a few steps back and maybe not book the flight or whatever it is, but start practicing. What is this telling me? And what's my truth? And really know that you're worth it to own it. So in everybody, sometimes it's scary to speak our truth, right? Because we want to please people. We want to do what we think we need to do. But it's totally going against us. And then we're just like, ooh, right? Then we get upset stomach or whatever, So start to tune in. What is my body telling me? And what's really true for me? And do I have the courage to speak that, right? As long as it's in alignment with my intuition. If it's in alignment with your intuition, it will be for the highest and best of everybody. You have to trust that. And you have to trust that you're worth whatever you need to say. Okay? Anybody else? All right. Cool. Awesome. All right. So, where do you guys think you're going to use your knowing in your practice? Or your business? So if you're just starting being a coach, where do you think you can use it in your current career?
Every day.
Every day?
Listen to yourself and making choices.
Very cool. Listening to yourself, making choices.
Well, whenever I think about taking on a client, I use my knowing to determine whether this is the right fit for me, not necessarily analytics. How does it feel? Or when I'm listening to a client and what their needs are. Most recently, I had a situation where I had a client that told me the full thing. I was doing the analysis, and I trusted my knowing to say, standard coaching protocol isn't right here. this person, there's something else going on. I need to refer this person to somebody else first to find out what the real issue is. And that was a knowing situation. And I can't tell you where it came from. It just was downloaded to me to do that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because actually in your pamphlet you'll see the definition of intuition, and it's beyond intellectual understanding. So sometimes beyond facts, beyond intellectual understanding, it is not something your brain can comprehend, but it's an innate knowing that you just know that you know. And when you listen to that, you usually find out why later, but you have to trust it. And it's kind of scary. Like when I left college, it's like, oh my God, I got a scholarship. Why would I leave? But my gut was like, my stomach bev was like, oh, I can't do this. Like, it's just not me, right? And so I did. I felt so sick that I was like, I got to listen. I got to go. And so I ended up starting a business, and it was successful. If I didn't listen, I would have been sick, which is why do you think we have disease? We're going against ourselves. It's in conflict. That's all it is. So when you have that alignment and you listen to your knowing, you can beat the odds. You guys know anybody that's healed themselves of the disease? I know a lot of people that have, because they get in alignment. It's all energy. Go ahead, Al.
Have you about the strain of the person in your life? Maybe assessment, initial assessment, and correct. Maybe you have this thing like turned out. Didn't have to. You were talking to a good, safe person. And my question really is, how do you go ahead and maybe allow that misjudgment initially wrong?
Yeah. Compassion, right? Compassion. Sometimes, we feel like it's intuition, and sometimes maybe it was our fear, and maybe we thought it was intuition, but it was really something that we got triggered by, and it's like, well, I'm human. My intention was to help this person or to get to know this stranger, but I guess there was a misjudgment, and, going back to Anne, it's like, well, what do I need to heal in myself? What did they reflect in me? And loving yourself that much that you do it for yourself, and then you become that much better of a person. That's a really good question. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions at all? Go ahead. Yeah.
Is there, as we tap into this intuition, is there kind of a learning curve? Because there was for me many years ago, I would feel something in my stomach and to go a certain direction, and then I would say, well, no, it's just indigestion. Is anyone?
There you go. See, Bev, you're not alone.
Myself out, which I know now was my intuition.
Yeah, right. Okay, so Lori's question, is there a learning curve? And yeah, we can talk ourselves out of what we know. Oh, it's just indigestion. Oh, it's just whatever. The cool thing about intuition, though, is it usually doesn't stop giving you guidance. You can keep smushing it down, but it usually doesn't stop. So it's just about letting go. Our whole analogy of pushing or letting go. It's about letting go so you can open to receive what is going on here, And obviously you're doing it. You're such a successful woman over there. So it's just, you've allowed that. But I think that is the journey. That is the intuitive journey, is I feel something. Am I listening? Am I willing to let go right now and surrender to what I know and then act? Yeah, it does become a willingness. That's where the will comes in. Yeah.
I've been having all these experiences lately where there's an opportunity to step into a vision, like a guided vision, or an opportunity for me to connect to my knowing or a sign. And oftentimes I have, even when we were doing this exercise, I have this thought that I'm going to make something up. My mind's going to make something up, and then I'm going to trick myself into thinking it's my intuition. And then the intuition comes, and it always surprises me. It's always like, I think, because I'm really a good imagination, I have a sharp mind, and it could work. It's magic, right?
Yeah.
But it always comes in like some U-turn, I didn't even see it, It's like, I'm thinking it's going to come like this because that's how my mind would do it, and it's like, it's something else entirely. And it's something I could have never made.
Do you guys think the universe has a sense of humor? It does, because I'm pretty convinced that you only get to know what you're supposed to know. Because there's many times where I'm like, how did I not see that happening? It was like, oh honey, you weren't supposed to know, because had you wouldn't have done that and learned that, right? So just trust that you're going to know what you're supposed to know. And yes, sometimes it will come from out of the blue,
And it always comes through in a signal. I don't know why I keep thinking that I'm not going to get it like that,
because the signal is always different than whatever I would produce straight with my mind or my imagination.
Yeah.
The nature of the input is so different.
Yeah.
I would never really be able to confuse the two, but I always worry that I will.
I know, you're fascinating. You're just very smart. There's just a very high intelligence around you. You're just very smart. So I see where you're coming from, but don't let it, embrace it. Embrace it. Because there's a little pushing against right now, because you know you're that smart. And so it's like, let it go and see what's going to happen. It's going to start to filter into your heart, and your mind and your heart are going to merge. And they already do a lot, but it's going to go from 80 to 100%.
Yeah, the calling right now is willingness, which is me sort of dropping out of.
Yeah, you got it. You already know. All right, any other questions? Go ahead.
You asked how we're using knowing in our business. So I'm standing on the edge of starting my practice.
Yeah.
I just put up barriers.
Yeah.
Yet my knowing is moving.
And so you know what a great statement for you is to journal about? If I weren't afraid, I would, ... Just keep journaling that out. And support. What's your support? Do you have a support?
It's just coming into this stage.
Yeah, I was like, I felt that. I was like, okay, good. So amp up the support. Amp up the support. Because when you have people that believe in you, around you, there's been many times where I'm like, dude, I can't even do this. I don't even want to do this. And people are like, go. And you're like, okay. So just amp up the support, do that statement. It's just part of the process. And I see the walls, I get it. I have my own walls. I'm stepping into some new stuff and I'm like, all right, but you got to step forward, and I promise you what will happen, promise. When you step forward, the wall, you could put your finger on it and it'll disappear. When you step in it, when you're in the moment, I promise. Because you'll feel it and you'll move right through it. It'll be, boom, I'm here. And then you'll be like, oh my God, I'm on the other side. And there'll be another one. You'll be like, oh, here we go again. But it's okay. The light is at the end of the tunnel. So I said, the light at the end of the tunnel is you. So you're just going to you more, however you get there. But thank you for being so honest. And I'm sure you're in a great place, that people from all aspects of coaching can help you.
All sorts of incredible skills.
Absolutely. That's why you're being called. Yeah. Yes.
I really support what you said. So
sure.
Most people are not on training on leading into the discovery because they're going from critical thinking mind to the heart. And in order to do that, it's very difficult unless you have coaching or a third party that can observe, witness, feedback authentically. Meaning they too are not attached to the outcome. See, because we are so outcome-based, and that's not criticism, it's just the way we are, that we get attached to a specific outcome, and therefore the allowing part that you just described never shows up.
Yeah.
Because we block it. Your own set is friction. This friction, it's also resistance.
Yeah.
All right, the stuff that's coming up for us needs to be released before we can allow it to be replaced by something else. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Supporting everything you just said. And I guess the best form for that is to have a friend, a pal, preach, a preacher, coach, group, or this group, to act as a guide where you can balance and check your thinking against. Otherwise, you're going to drift. It's pretty lonely when you don't have somebody telling you your truths and you choose not to pay attention.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's just about, more reflections. To me, it's like people are reflections of that light. And so just the exercise we did of I see you, building these trusted relationships, going to these people, as you're saying, that you trust, that can reflect back aspects that you may not want to look at, that you may be experiencing, or that you have not yet seen. Right?
We every time we do this, where I was looking deeply into our soul, and you're on there, the three words that came up for me: peace, in the moment, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's probably reflected in the smile.
Who I think myself to be. Yeah.
You know, who you bring to the engagement, the dialogue, is you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell who's a New York guy.
Yeah, right? I mean, I really think it's so simple. I mean, it just is about like letting go of those layers of resistance, right? So it's like, you know, you bring sunshine to a cold hand. You know, it's like you're just melting away. To be honest, a lot of it's protection. So a lot of the reason we have so much stacked up against our heart is we've been hurt before. And so we think, well, if I really open it, they're going to hurt me again. And if you're thinking that, sometimes they will. So you got to trust your knowing and trust yourself first and say, I'm willing to be vulnerable. And in fact, if they do hurt me, I'm going to love myself more, and I'm going to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper, because at the core is love. You will always get there. So you just got to keep being willing to move through the layers and trust what you know. I think it's funny that you said that, because I used to be an avoider of pain. I was really good at it. I'm like, I'll get intuitive. I don't want that. I'll go here. I'll go here. And then I was like, oh man, like I gotta feel that. So it's true. It makes you almost more a part of the whole when you feel all of it and you become comfortable with it. And then, yeah, you face your shadow, you shine light on it. And you're like, hey, it's all good, you know, but you didn't see it before. So that non-judgment piece and that compassion, huge.
So there's the allowing the goal, and there's also allowing all this process that's going to happen between here and there.
Yep.
With all the vulnerability that without that, you won't have the process.
Yeah. Yeah. Just be willing for the journey. We could talk all day. And I guess I still have time. Go ahead.
One thing that's important to remember is the brighter you shine your light, the darker will be the shadows. So the more that as you shine your light brighter and brighter, you will find things that you have to deal with that are darker than you've ever dealt with before. It's just the nature of the existence.
Makes sense.
It is not all light. It is not all shadows. So whenever you're very, very bright and you're shining out there in the world, don't be surprised whenever things come up that are shadow for you to deal with, and that they're darker than they were before. And know that your brightness will increase as you deal with those shadows.
I love that. Thank you for being my teacher today. I love that. It makes sense, right? If you're this big now instead of this big, your shadow's going to be that much bigger. It makes sense. Beautiful. Whew. Oh, wow. Okay, go ahead.
I'm a huge believer in intuition and being able to manifest based on a gut reaction. But I am also a huge skeptic of my own gut.
Yeah.
And so are there practices or are there exercises that you can do to strengthen the ability to just go with it, to just open up?
Yeah. So I would say it's an individual basis. I mean, I teach people how to do that, obviously. So I could guide you to a course. As far as an exercise, I would say just go to your knowing. Just keep trusting and acting. So trust and act, because when you trust and act, you're going to see something, and you can jot it down in a journal. I don't want to go too deep, but it feels like there was a time where you started to trust yourself and then something happened where it made you not trust. So I would say go wherever that is. I'm not going to go into it, but go there, because once you get that back, it's from a childhood thing, then you'll be solid. It just needs to heal, and everybody has it, but it's like, yes, I need that, right? And then you feel solid. So, yeah, and it will make it stronger. It's kind of like what she said, like if this shadow is, your light will be much brighter then, because you'll know how to get through stuff. Yeah, so trust and act.
What was the question again? Because that really resonated. What was the, how can you, is there an exercise that helps you to grow the trust that you have in your own gut reaction?
Yeah, so the answer is like trust and act. Yeah, trust and act.
And I just reinforce, I think another way too is meditation. Yeah, that's what I just started. Yeah, so I think if you practice
Yeah, it's funny. I just did yoga training and they talked about meditation, and so it could be in the meditation or outside of the meditation, because a meditation is just to calm your mind down. So you may get the answer in it, or you may get nothing in the meditation and then after. So yeah, as long as you know that and you're not attached to the outcome. But that's a great suggestion. Thank you.
Creating a willing vessel, an open vessel.
Yeah, and yeah, now that we're on that, I mean, getting in the body, like yoga and movement, like I feel like that really just brings you back to the earth and feeling, you know, what's going on, like beach walks, you know. Yeah.
Speaking to that inner skepticism, though, I find something really practical that you can do is kind of how Abby started it off, is look at the evidence. Look at the evidence of when you've actually followed your intuition and things went well, and look at the evidence of your past when you didn't and things didn't go well, and use that to make logical connections to what your skepticism is really creating or preventing you from creating in your own life. Really, you know, do something practical, you can really operate to look no further than your own previous experiences. There's so much evidence of the fact that following your intuition is definitely the right path to stay on.
That's good. It's like, yeah, I can almost like write a book about it. Wow, this is awesome. You guys are so interactive. Hello, let's go.
This is totally an acknowledgement of you, an observation. When you first stood up in your gorgeous little striped skirt and red, everybody was like, oh, let's focus on you. Right now, and I'm looking around the room, everybody is so able to focus on you.
Yay. Awesome. Good.
And that I know is cool, and you do it. You just, you know what I mean? You're like over here, you know, not selfish, but
yeah.
So awesome.
Thank you. You have your answers. Don't you love our mirror work and reflections? But yes, and that is clearly, it's the call back to yourself. And so I love the attention. Bring it on. But it is all about you. Yeah. Thank you, Billy. Yeah.
Perfect example of our membership and our board. So we've got a business we all operate through our intuition, but we also have members available to us who are subject matter experts. So if in fact we have an issue of, well, making an expenditure, making a decision, there are people on the board that can do that can help and assist. If we want to change the website, but we have an expert there. If we want to verify that we're operating within the constraints of what the law requires, we go to our friend Carl, and Carl straightens us out immediately and makes sure that we are on the right track. So intuition works. And then you better go to somebody that knows more than you do about something that may be operational, not internal to you, but a business that you run that says, you know what, I don't know enough about QuickBooks, so we talk to an expert. So I think, again, I'm going back to having a friend, partner, rabbi, somebody that you can talk to that is available to you, that will give you detached advice, meaning they don't have a dog in the hunt, is always useful. And I think to complement Carl in this situation, he serves a valuable role on our board. Just to cite an example for the members.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I would say to that is I would say, ultimately, you actually know. You are your teacher. So if you go into your knowing, then your knowing will guide you to ask somebody. That's the ultimate answer. It's actually not go straight to them. I would absolutely advise you say, go into you first. Does it feel right? Awesome. I know that I want to get Miguel's advice on this because my intuition says I trust him. I relate to him. But it's actually my knowing. And you happen to be providing an answer that I'm seeking, that I at some level already know, but you're coming into my world to show me. Yes. Can we start here and then we'll work up? Go ahead, unless you need time.
I acknowledge that you also, I was in real estate development for a number of years, and there's a reason I'm not anymore. But the point is, there are sometimes things are legal, but they're not right. So it's one of those things that when you know it's not right, I don't care how legal it is or how much it's okay under the law to do something. You don't do it.
Yeah. You just have to, trust what you know and take action on it, right? Because, love is the highest call. So your intuition will guide you to make a choice in alignment with that. Yes.
To go on to what Miguel was saying.
Yeah.
The corollary, when you reach out, your knowing will tell you who not to go to.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
So better to stay with yourself.
Yeah.
And go
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, I just had a neighbor that was like, yeah, I just asked about 3 different guys about my ex-boyfriend. I'm like, not the right people. Don't ask guys about guys that like you.
People who you really want to be the right people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sit and mark for where they are.
Yeah. Listen to the subtleties. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
One of the struggles that I have is the training that I've had that impacts that I really have had to fight against. My initial training was that of teaching. And one of the things that they taught us was if a kid comes into your classroom and they misbehave on that first day of your classroom, do not form an image of that kid or the kind of thing that gets you to think that they're going to be a troublemaker, because you don't know what happened in their home, you don't know about their parental situation, and they could be acting out for a completely different reason. And so you have to detach yourself and not make a judgment and look for consistent behavior patterns before you make a decision. Somehow, I had transferred that to other things in my life, where I'm going, oh, well, maybe they had a bad day. Oh, well, and the reality is people leak their personalities immediately, okay? And you're going to find out, and you trust that. It took me a long time to get over this training that I had to be this compassionate teacher to one who just makes a decision and follows my intuition. So I don't know if anybody else has ever had that experience where they feel like they're judging as opposed to following your intuition.
I had exactly the same thing. Yes.
Me as well. Yeah. I have this innocent until proven guilty kind of predisposition. And even if, because I've been encountering a fair number of opportunities to learn that I've got a blind spot when it comes to people who maybe aren't don't have the integrity I'm giving them. I'm assuming that they have. And I feel like the opportunity for me there is to be just as smart about what I know isn't quite right as I am smart about what is potentially right. Like I'm so good at seeing all the potential good that it's hard for me to acknowledge when I'm seeing it when it's off.
Yeah, I hear you. Gotta wrap up. All right, so just to close that circle there is, regardless of what you're seeing or what you've been taught, it's to trust what you know. And keep it a blank slate. Like every moment's a new moment. So don't bring it with you. Just, this is the first time I've met you. This is what I get. This is my knowing. I see you. Come from I see you. And you'll be surprised. You'll have you'll create a loving world for yourself when you come from the place of I see you and I know. And namaste.